Zizek idea that he doesn't actually want to be like especially involved in the running of the state. He wants to have this like some moderate level of alienation, so to say. Like I think that's pretty important actually for society that's working well. Like you can have initially, like revolutionary zeal and can ask citizens for extra work. But in long term, I think it has to kind of work in the background. Like there is this machine humming in the background, and unless you work in this machine, you don't really have to pay much attention to its working. Like maybe vote every now and then, or do your taxes or whatever. So there can be some things that you do, but it cannot be like I don't know how Occupy Wall Street or I don't know Chaz or whatever. I don't know about that anything, so I shouldn't tell. But more like Occupy Wall Street, where they had this kind of direct democracy idea, but this idea was it was okay for activists and this kind of protesters or homeless people for that matter, but people who are just like spending all of their energy at this thing, or maybe not like all of it completely, but a lot of it. So this was that thing that they were doing. They were there, so they could sit for hours in this meeting, all this stuff. But you cannot have this in actually like long-term society. It's just impossible. Like you have to do your shit, and society should kind of run in the background. That's I think important point that a lot of like people interested in politics may miss because they want to get involved. Maybe they already volunteer and it's kind of civil society, liberal politics funds. For them, I think it could be like just no-brainer, and then they are for like direct democracy and all these things because they want to get involved. They are already nerding out about this stuff, so they understand how it's working. Maybe not in everything, but yeah, they are into politics, so they want to spend more time on politics. So that's like their ideal world. But for like average person, it shouldn't be like that. But on the other hand, we do have these people, so I think it's fine for the state to like take, for example, free labor from volunteers and this kind of stuff. I think channel it for good purpose. It doesn't have to be like at the state, but in a wider view of a society, I think it would be acceptable for it to require like more volunteer work overall, if it would work well, like people would be happy. And Zizek sit on his ass not to get involved in this shit, or like just get involved to the level that he feels comfortable with. While I think actually going back to volunteering and the state, I think actually there could be some positions where this could work out, because you have to take into account that working for the state always gives you some power, and people like power even without money. But then the question is, what kind of people would like this kind of like petty power, and what would they use it for? A big question is incentives, how to make this work out. I think it's possible. Like if you would have, let's like imagine, I don't know, a new liberal revolution in the West, let's say Europe or USA, doesn't matter. But they don't really, they don't want to get rid of capitalism, but they just want to have like very radical changes that are not also like either. So what do they go with? I can imagine actually it's kind of more involved like civil society kind of state. So for example for Europe, like this dilemma of immigration would be and I would say this is like my preferred solution, but more like imagining certain like future for a setting, actually for sci-fi setting. But I try to like realistically project how that kind of liberal sort of post-scarcity, like sort of, because it would still be like traditional, but almost there, like a scarcity, but still not really gotten rid of capitalism and so on. So anyway, this kind of transitional period there, I was thinking about how this liberal European identity and state would form. And again, I think this is important for me to stress. This is not like what I imagine in the future. I'm imagining this kind of dystopian setting, and this is a traditional stage in this dystopia. So anyway, they solve immigration there with kind of volunteer vigilante system. So we can say that's kind of barbaric, shocking, and so on. And yeah, I kind of am going a little bit for that. But I think it's also this kind of stuff that, like, let's say, Europeans from 50s or 40s would kind of consider as extremely lenient still. But anyway, it would be still like all dressed up very progressively, naturally. But overall, so yeah, like kind of vigilante system, and I think this could work out with. Yeah, I think this could work out with. With this kind of issues of state. But yeah, as I said, I don't think this is for me like a preferred solution. But I think other things could be solved. Like I think a lot of actually local decision making could be done with this kind of volunteering mode, and this I believe this could work really well if you set up this nicely, so you know where to put benches in the park, in your local park or whatever. This kind of smaller scale, I believe people would volunteer for this for free, and if you had it all structured well, there would be enough volunteers, so the people who are actually genuinely just interested in their neighborhood would overcome like people who would just want to further their own individual interests under the guise of collective, like just would be like volunteering for collective help. So I think this could work on this level, for example, and this would be just like a small percentage of overall population there, so it wouldn't be like Shane will sit on his ass. And so yeah, so that's my thought about this.